And I think this is like the tagline on the back of the book. It says like 9 kids, 1 income, no debt. So I was not raised in a Christian home. I got saved in my early 20s when I was an elementary school teacher, actually. And I became close with this pastor of the church where I got saved, and they homeschool their children there. I actually taught with his daughter, which is how I kind of got introduced to this church, went there, heard the gospel for the first time, and became a Christian soon after. But anyway, I saw what they did, or I saw their family, and I'd never seen anything like that. And I had no exposure to homeschooling, and I just loved what I saw. And even as an elementary school teacher, I decided, boy, when I get married, I'd like to homeschool our children. And then I started seeing things in the school system that even more convicted me to want. It meant plenty of things that most of your listeners, or probably all of your listeners, would be familiar with, because it's even worse now than it was, 17 years ago or 15 years ago. And so now I have even more reason to get my kids away from some of those things that they would be exposed to. And so we decided, when I was looking, this is funny to talk about looking for a wife, but you kind of meet women and you have your requirements or deal breakers, let's say, your essentials. And one of them for me, your non-essentials and your essentials. And an essential for me was like, be willing to homeschool our children that God gives us. Not knowing at that time I'm going to be a pastor, but interestingly, Yvette, whether you're a pastor or an elementary school teacher, there's not a large income associated with that. And so I think that one of the things that could have made a finance book, at least one written by me, attractive to Harvest House, and I think this is like the tagline on the back of the book. It says like 9 kids, 1 income, no debt. So they kind of looked and they're like, wow, this guy's got some credibility. Because if someone else came and talked about some of the biblical or financial principles that I discussed, they could easily, you could listen to that person and say, well, it's really easy for you. You have a lot of money, or you both work or double income. Nobody's going to say that with us. I mean, we moved from being a school teacher to being a pastor, never had lots of money. And kind of that gives me, I think, a credibility to talk about certain things. And, we've made mistakes. There's plenty of things that we wish we did better, wish we were more mature in certain areas, but by God's grace, we get to have the credibility to talk about finances, just being a single income family throughout our lives. But no, we never said we don't know if we can homeschool, or don't know if we can be single income. We basically believed and still believe that if God wants us to do something, then he is going to provide for us. And he has. And it's not ever extravagant or luxurious, but we've always felt well taken care of. There's never been a time that we didn't have the money that we needed. And sure, I mean, there's sacrifices that have to be made. We might not eat out a lot. We don't, go to movies, or when we do parties for our kids, they're usually kind of at home, simpler. We don't go really big for Christmas or birthdays and things. So there are a few restrictions or sacrifices, but for the most part, we feel like God has really blessed us and taken care of us, and want to give him the credit for that, the glory for that, because we believe has led us in this direction and has been faithful to provide.
Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.